Good morning, everyone. So we're starting off this Tuesday morning with a bang. Stock market's moving around. We're getting some trade ideas that I've pointed out on this channel over the last couple weeks are starting to trigger. So we've got some sell signals and things are working so far. So I want to point those out. We're going to start out with the broad market analysis. Leave me a thumbs up, guys, if you find value in the content. And as I go along, if you're interested in learning how to use technical analysis to do your own charting, take my course, link in the description below. It's not free, it's 99 bucks, but well worth the money, at least in my opinion. Okay, so we're gonna start out here with the S&P 500. We're looking at the SPY, the proxy of the S&P 500. And the thing is, on the daily chart, again, here's your March 2020 lows. And this is the upward channel that the market's really been in. This rally is pretty much all induced by the Fed. But you can see basically you've got support, support, support. You held support through here on this daily chart. Finally got a sell signal right here. There's your breakdown. And we ran up and did a back test right there. So why do I think that we're going lower? Well, it's a couple things. One, we broke that major trend and we broke, we have a sell signal. So we broke it. We're back testing. We're hitting major resistance. And two, we have negative divergence. So you see here, look at the RSI here starting to confirm that negative divergence. See it right there? Let me get rid of this little circle. See how it's turning down? So that means that basically this new high was a new high in price, higher high in price, lower high in momentum. Momentum down here is telling us that this rally is likely going to fail and you're going to get a correction or some sort of, downward price action. Okay, so it doesn't mean it has to work, but the probability is in the favor of a sell-off. So, and we go down to the hourly chart. You can see we ran up, hit the back test on Friday, barely kind of popped above it. Today, they're just smashing it right back down. Now, on the hourly chart, we have this small support line right here. We're just looking at the last couple days, basically. And we've held this upward trend line, so that's where it hit today. Fell down, hit it. So far, no breakdowns of that. So you'd like to see a break of this, some sort of hourly break, an impulsive breakdown, with an hourly close below there. If we get that, then that's likely going to be, your next sell signal and probably set the S&P 500 up for trading to the downside. And if we break, I'd look at the last high right here, about 425.40 as a level of support. We're likely going to get a reaction right up there. We'll have to just watch that. But I do think in general, the market's set up to sell down. So let's move on to tech, triple Qs. So tech has been stronger. The money's been flowing into tech and moving out of some of the other sectors. But today looks like, it really hasn't been broad-based strength in tech. It's really more been just all about the FANG stocks. So it's the FANG stocks, Google, Applesoft, Microsoft, Amazon, and that's where the money's been going. Not so much a broad-based tech rally, but just, a couple stocks. So pretty thin breadth, meaning there's not broad-based market participation in the rally. It's just the money's going into the big market cap weighted stocks, and when those move, since they're weighted so heavy in the indices, they move the indices, or at least don't allow the indices to sell off. So looking at tech, again, March 2020 lows down here on this daily chart, and as you zoom in, and someone asked me if I should, I probably should clean up my charts, and I definitely should. But the thing I want everyone to look at is really just focus on this trend line right here, this upward diagonal trend line. You can see we held support, finally broke. So there's your sell signal. And we had a big, long, multi-month back test, finally tagging that trend line or getting pretty close on today, actually. And we're selling off. Nothing impulsive. This isn't a clear rejection. So I wouldn't say that we have a sell signal or any reason to get short on the triple Qs yet. But we are back testing. Looking at the hourly chart, you can see we're just kind of getting rejected a little bit. Nothing major, right? So no real big technical posture change in the tech sector. Looking for more selling or selling to start to show up in tech, and that should start to confirm these negative divergences. Moving, see here, see how the momentum, see how it's trending down, how I make this downward trend line. Each new high in price has been on lower momentum. And here's a new divergent high, lower momentum. So if I zoom in on this PPO, it hasn't been confirmed yet. What you want to see is these indicators start to turn down like that, and that would confirm the negative divergence. If they don't turn down and tech continues to rally, then you might burn through that negative divergence. They might just do like that. So you want to see that confirmed before you can say that this new high in price is a divergent high. It is a divergent high. It's just not confirmed yet. So things to look for on tech. I don't see any sell signals yet, any impulsive breakdown candles. I think they're going to come. I think we're going to get them soon, maybe with the Fed minutes this week. Because again, this market's trading on the Fed pretty much completely. You know, there's really nothing else the market is trading on in, you know, this year. It's all about the Fed. So, yeah, that's what I see in Qs. We'll continue to look for sell signals on that one. Small caps, nothing really going on. We're just kind of going sideways. Bigger picture, you can see we're just, let me grab the tool. We're just going sideways. So I don't see anything interesting in small caps right now. We do have negative divergence, and that remains. So we've just continued to build negative divergence. And so, yeah, I mean, these negative divergences are telling me we're going to get a sell-off, but we're just not seeing it yet. And likely this is going to do what the large caps do. So I'm going to be laser focused on the Qs just to see if we get some sort of a sell signal. That's where the strength has been at in the last couple weeks. So I want to see that strength really put in a reversal candle, and we should only have weakness left. Now, one thing to look for is, let's go to the sectors, because these are the sectors that I've been short, financials and the industrials. So here's the financials. You can see today, you know, selling off, kind of wiping out the last week or so of sideways action in the XLF. But again, just continuing to see selling. When we run into resistance levels, we continue to see selling. So I still think we're downtrending in financials and that they will continue to work their way lower. That still looks good. We have negative divergence right there on the PPO and the RSI. So again, we had a bearish rising wedge right up in here. There's your bearish rising wedge. And these were divergent highs. So basically, you were waiting for the sell signal up in this area, and we got it when we started to break. There's your sell signal. We broke the trend, and then it's just been selling ever since. So now we're downtrending as far as I can tell. Sell down, kickback rally. Sell down, you know, kickback rally. That's going to do that, or that's what I assume it's going to do. Okay, looking at, and then we'll go into some individual stocks. XLI selling down, running into some support right there at about 101.50. So that's support. You see that go, and I think we're likely heading down to 97.20. And that's why I am assuming is going to happen as well. The negative divergence that was in play. So again, divergent high. I grab the tool, divergent high here, divergent high here. We broke trend, so sell signal, kickback rally, you know, like that. So we're going to continue to look for these to work their way lower over time. Okay, before I get into some of the industrials and financials, I want to point out some of the new trade ideas I've talked about. We've got some sell signals going on and actionable trades. So I want to get those in here. MGM, all right, we talked about this one for a while. So here's the uptrend line held, you know, on the daily chart. Clean, lots of reactions on this. We created a bearish rising wedge up here at the top, started to build negative divergence really back here. You know, so divergent high, divergent high, divergent high. So we were just, that's how divergences how they work. They continue to build, and then when they finally break, usually you see pretty impulsive selling. And so we have negative divergence, we have an uptrend line, we're looking for a break of trend or a sell signal, and there it is right there. All right. So far, that daily candle, we're down 4%, breaking the trend line support. And it doesn't look like there's going to be much chance of a recovery. I think it's likely going to continue to sell through the day. But there's your sell signal. We're probably going to sell down today to about right about there, which is about 40.85 or so. I suspect they'll park it right there. Maybe we'll chop around, bounce tomorrow. But bigger picture, there's your sell signal on a swing trade. So as far as I can tell, we're going to start to break, you know, we'll bounce, we'll break lower, you know. So I think we're going to get down to these levels, 36.66, potentially down here at 33, you know, about 34. And yeah, that's a big level down there at 34. So I do like that as a swing target on this one. And it's all the way down here. So that would be a drop, you know, even as of right now, that's still, let me grab the tool. That's still a drop of about 18%, we'll call it. So that's the target on this one. I like it. There's your sell signal. Moving on. Here's General Motors, GM, uptrend channel, upward price channel on the daily chart. So continuing to just work its way up. Big negative divergence right here. So there's your last divergent high right there on the RSI and the PPO. You're looking for a break of trendline support, and there's your sell signal so far today. Now, the day's not over. They could have a save, or what they call it a stick save, where basically they sell it off, but then the buyers step in and bid it back up, and it, you know, creates this big wick tail. That's called a stick save. That's possible, but so far that looks pretty impulsive, down 3%. And, you know, continuing to look like a good solid sell signal. So there's a sell signal on GM. I found a little bit of support here, about 54.70, maybe a small reaction right there. But likely I think that goes when we get down to about 47. And 47 seems like pretty good solid support to me, at least as of right now. And that would be a drop from where we're at right now of about 18%. Okay, so I like that one. Moving on. Car. So these are all stocks that I've talked about for the last couple weeks, pointing out these ideas. And they, you know, and usually when they trigger pretty quickly. This one's not selling off super impulsively yet. It's only down 1 0.6%. But we do have a sell signal as of right now. So on the daily chart, March 2020 lows, uptrend line, support. Finally, right here, we're starting to break. Zooming in, you can see we're starting to break that trend on that daily chart. Negative divergence, big negative divergence was telling us that this upward momentum was running out of steam and we're about to reverse. And so you're looking for breaks of trendline support. There's your break right there. Not super impulsive yet, so I'd like to see this get a little more impulsive. Here's your hourly chart. We have 1 hourly close below trend, and the next hour it looks like it's kind of stacking on top of that with more selling. So I would expect more selling to come in throughout the day. This continue to sell off, triggering that sell signal. Now we do have support right here at 72.34. So if we break down and, you know, close right around 72.34, I could see us bouncing maybe the next day. But ultimately, you got to go back to the bigger picture, and that would be a sell signal telling me that we're likely going to break this support and head down to 51.23. I see that as a pretty solid level of support. From where we're at right now, that's a potential drop of 34%. All right, so it's not going to happen all at once. You're not going to get these, you know, these drops in one day. Or likely 1 week, but you should see pretty impulsive selling show up, and you know it's going to work its way down there. So far, it looks good. Okay, let's flip through some of these industrial short trades that I've been talking about for a little while now. But here's EMR uptrend line here. We had the sell signal back here on the June 17th. And, you know, we had weeks of backtesting, basically, kind of grinding higher. Today, they're pretty impulsive selling, but nothing's technically changed. So if you go to the hourly, looks like we've got, something like this on the hourly where they're trying to create this secondary support line, maybe right there. We break that, and I think we're continuing the downtrend. But again, this just looks like flagging action. It looks like we have a sell signal here. And then we flag out, and then we continue down. So I'm looking for this to continue lower and work its way down to, I do see some support right here at about 87.30. So that's the next level of support. So we'll just watch that. ITW, same thing. I'm not short this one, but I am short EMR. I'm not short ITW. But again, just looks like a bear flag. So you got the move down. Here, you got the flag, and then you continue down. Again, these are all concepts I teach in my course. So take the course if you're if you're following along, but you're maybe a little bit lost, or if I'm moving too fast or something, then take the course. I think that will really help sharpen your skills and your understanding of these concepts, so that when I'm going through these on the charts, you'll really understand what I'm talking about. This just looks like it's flagging, so I'm looking at continuation. This projects probably, let's see, the projection is really right about, sorry, this tool's not the best tool, but maybe something like that. Getting us down to that area right in here as the projection for the downward target. And that's right around 211.75. I do think this one's going to work its way down to 191.30. That's clear, a pretty solid level of support down there. So looking good. URI, again, just more selling, kind of continuation to the downside. So again, here's your uptrend. This wasn't an uptrend. It had divergent highs, negative divergence. See the RSI and the PPO, how we're going down on these. And then you look for a sell signal, boom, big sell signal right there. Really obvious. And it was just all selling, kickback rally, and then you continue the selling. So again, when we start, if we continue the selling and start to work our way down here, you don't want to be shorting down here, all right? That's the wrong time to be shorting. After it's made its move down and it's obvious and everyone wants to jump in, kind of the Johnny-come-latelys, now they want to short. They didn't want to short on the sell signal or a kickback rally into resistance. They want to short when it's obvious. Well, that's the time that the shorts are making their money, right? So it's not the best time to be shorting. So things to look for on that one. Nucor, this is pretty obvious now, right? I mean, you have an uptrend line here in Nucor. You have a sell signal, negative divergence right there on the RSI and the PPO. There's your sell signal or break of trend, little kickback rally, and today, boom, new lower low, all right? So we have a new intraday lower low. So starting to be obvious on this one that it's clearly downtrending. This one I think is heading down to about $75. Yeah, right in that area. This is the zone of support, 73 to 75. Okay, financials like Citi, you can see, boom, big sell down candle. So all those days, this is many weeks, 2-3 weeks of kind of grinding higher, all taken out in one day. So all the people that were buying the dip, boom, they've all, not all of them, unless you got this day perfect, but most of them are underwater, or, most of them are pretty much underwater in this recent dip here. So I think those people that bought the dip, now that they're underwater, as you start to go lower, they start to exit and sell, and that kind of increases the selling. So we should see the selling increase. Looks like this one's heading down to about 62. So next level of support. The ones that I'm short, Ally, flagging out, bear flagging. So you can see sell down. All right, this one, clear uptrend line here in Ally. Then we had a sell signal all the way right up here. Let me, this is where I shorted the thing right here on the sell signal. You sell down, we flag out. The flag's not taken out yet, so this one is still, there's not an additional sell signal, but I do think it's going to take the flag out, and we're going to start to head lower, down to 43.24. Again, negative divergence forecasted this in advance, right? Here's the negative divergence telling us that this price action up here was likely going to be the end of the run or near the end of the run, and we were looking for the sell signal, and it did show up. Charles Schwab, again, just some selling today. Just, as you can see, I mean, it doesn't have to be the continuation of the downtrend. We could hold here and go higher, but you got a breakdown, kickback rally, starting to roll over. So I think we're going to go down and do this all the way down here. We already hit this level of support just about at 68.90. So I think if we get back down there, we're going to break that and then head down to 62.21. So that would be a drop from where we're at right now of about 12.5%. That looks good for continuation. I'm not sure where my divergent lines went, but this one had clear negative divergence for quite some time. So it'd been building negative divergence all through here, and we finally broke. So now that that uptrend is broken, I think we've started a correction in this stock. Home builders like Toll Brothers, you can see selling down today. Nothing's really changed over the last couple weeks. It's just selling down. We're just kind of working our way, grinding around sideways right now. But I think we're still working our way lower, down to 50.36. So Toll Brothers, here's your uptrend line. There's your last divergent high right there. See the negative divergence? See how we made a new high in price, but the momentum couldn't quite replicate the momentum of the past. It was lower momentum. All right, so that told me that we're likely going to get a sell signal. There's your sell signal right there. Boom, big impulsive breakdown and daily close below. You back tested again, but nothing technically changed from the bigger picture that you had a swing target sell signal, and it was likely going to go much lower. So we've been selling off since, and now you can see we're continuing to sell down. Lpx Louisiana Pacific, talked about this one for a while, but here's your uptrend line there. We also have a head and shoulders top, which came with negative divergence. We broke trend, so there's your sell signal or break a trend. Kind of sold down, back test a little. Today they're just smashing it down 6%. Looking for continued selling to come into this. So far it looks good. So next level of support about 49.20. I think we get down there and probably get all the way down to this level, about 34.02. JCI, Johnson Controls, here's your uptrend line. These are industrial stocks, but the uptrend, you put in a bearish rising wedge up here at the top that also had negative divergence. The RSI and the PPO clearly downtrending, so you wait for your break of trend. There it is, boom, sell signal. And then they back tested against you. This is very common. When you get that initial sell signal, they'll run a back test against that initial sell signal to try to shake out anybody who took that sell signal. They do it all the time. So you have to be willing to give it some room on these swing trades, but there's your breakdown and your sell signal. Confirmation candle as well. You have a breakdown and then another day of selling. That's confirmation. And then they run it against you, but you can see today, pretty impulsive selling. I think we're likely going to continue the downtrend, probably starting right now or today. Next level of support, good support here at 62.40. I see some pretty decent support, so likely going to get a reaction or a bounce there. And then below that, I don't see anything really until we get down to about 52.70. So those are levels to watch. Okay, bonds, TLT. This is something I look at. I don't trade it a lot because it doesn't move a ton, but I do watch it. So they're buying bonds today, the long bond actually. And you can see we had this downtrend line on the daily chart on TLT. And that's a breakout right here. You can see we broke out here, they sold it back, but now we have a pretty clear breakout above this downward trend line. So in the short term, bonds look bullish, and they also had bullish divergence. So there's the bullish divergence on the TLT that's been building for a while. Didn't have it so much there on the PPO, but we did have it on the RSI, and we're breaking higher. So that means interest rates are falling, and ultimately what that is, or at least what I think it is people are buying protection for downside in the markets. So things to look for on that. And that plays into gold. Gold this morning was up $20. You can see here they sold it down though. But they're selling it right down into the support area of 1790. So again, going back on the daily, 1790 goes all the way back to November 2011. You can see the three reactions on that 1790, 1800 level. Held resistance, 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 and then we went into a bear market. And then as you zoom in, here's where we broke above 1790 for the first time in many years. And boom, big impulsive breakout. Then you have a big correction, hit 1790, we held support. Recently, they broke it back below, but we've popped back above it and recovered it. So as far as I can tell, we're running into the support area where I do believe it's going to hold. We could chop around. Maybe we'll go a little lower, but we've created this upward trend line in gold. So here you can see support, support, support here and here, and then recently we just hit support again. So that's intact, and we're holding that upward trend line. We're breaking above the 1790 resistance level. Just going on the hourly, we'll see how this closes the day. But I think if it can hold or even start to build on gains, then that's probably all she wrote for that level, and we're likely starting, a new leg higher in gold. So I still like the miners. Everything looks good there still. I'm seeing positive signs, although, this sell down here, we'll see what happens to close out the day on that one. Okay, I'm going to get the video out since there's a lot of actionable trade ideas that are just triggering this morning. I want to get this video out. Again, everything in this channel and everything on these videos is just my opinion. Nothing's trading advice. Nothing's financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. So guys, give me a thumbs up if you find value. Check out the course if you haven't already done so, and I will catch you guys on the next one.